Hi, I'm Steve Pond from TheWrap. We're here at the Sundance Film Festival, the team behind Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. So this is a story about a young woman trying to get an abortion, basically. What led you to want to make the film?
I was inspired to make the film in 2012, and that's when the inspiration struck. I read a newspaper article about the death of Savita Halappanavar, and she passed away in a hospital in Galway after being denied a life-saving abortion. And I began to wonder how far she would have had to travel to save her life. And I began reading about what's insensitively known as abortion tourism and women who are forced to travel for access to safe reproductive care.
Did you guys know anything about, what the film's about? I mean, did you know that girls have to do this, or?
I was generally aware that sometimes access can be hard and that sometimes people have to travel, but I wasn't aware of the extent of how many obstacles that there really can be and how traumatizing that can really be.
So how did you come to cast them?
When I initially had the idea for the film in 2012, 2013, I met Sidney kind of in passing in a very random backyard wedding in South Buffalo, and she was 14 there at the time, and my partner, who's a filmmaker, Scott Cummings, was working on a film named Buffalo Juggalos, and Sidney was on the periphery of that shoot and hanging out with the people who were the subjects of this kind of participatory performative documentary, and we were really kind of intrigued by her presence. She was much younger than everyone she was with, and she seemed a little in over her head. And we followed her on Facebook, and she's a musician, and I was really captivated by her angsty music that she was posting on Facebook. And I reached out to her a long time ago and asked her to consider being in the film.
But you weren't really interested in acting at that point, were you?
It's really just something I've never quite thought about because I was, my heart was very much in making music and I had never considered it. But then once it was presented to me, at first I was a little hesitant, but once they twisted my arm enough, I did, and talking to some friends, they were like, you should just try it. Why not? And I thought, yeah, that would be cool to explore this, this new medium and see what that's like. And a lot of being a musician is just being a performer, so it transferred over fine,
Right. Talia, what brought you into this?
I auditioned in more of a conventional way than Sidney. I read for Eliza, and after a few rounds, I got to test with Sidney, and we spent a day kind of doing scenes on the subway and in bathrooms as a way of auditioning.
Yeah, I like to try and audition in the world and not in the artificial confines of a rehearsal room where there's all these added pressure forces like producers and casting directors. I'm always trying to break my potential cast out of those environments and try and get to know them more in the context of the way that we would be shooting the film.